Hey, it's me again. A moment ago it wasn't windy anymore, and so I thought, hey, why not go outside? And now I think that might have been a mistake. So it might not be in the cards for me to be on camera very long today, but my connection was really weak, and so I came closer to this building to log in. And so you get to see my hair flying all over the place. That's fun. So I'm Dr. Darya Ghafourpour. I'm back again for another edition of Friday Night Live, and we're talking again about bringing positivity into your life and how to have a positive perspective. And I wanted to share with you, pardon the bumbling around here for a second, I wanted to share with you one of the experiences that I had this week because, hi Bernadette, welcome back. What I wanted to talk about was how, and Bernadette, I think I shared some of this with you too, is, you know, while I talk so much about, and I do my best to practice what it is that I teach and what it is that I'm sharing with you, I kind of want to make the point that it's not something that we're all perfect on, and certainly not myself, but what's important is to make every effort that we can to get ourselves back on track. And I think that's when support groups are super helpful. I think that's when people's faith is really helpful. I think that's when having supportive people around you is great. And one of the things I love about doing my Friday Night Lives is that I get to have feedback from people, and it tends to be positive feedback, and that's really great for my own psyche and for my own strength, and it helps me push along with the goal that I have, which is to be able to spread as much joy that I can and to spread as much positivity as I can, because I think that that's one way that I can help impact this world in a great way. And so my video tonight is again about how to have a positive perspective, and the situation that I'm going to refer to is one that I've shared with a couple of times this week, and I was looking at this whole process. All right, what happened was that I ended up having a really stressful day earlier this week because my technology fell apart. Surprise, surprise, surprise. It's not like you guys haven't seen me with weak internet connection while I'm trying to be live here with you. But yes, I had a very central computer in my office crash. Hey Mary, good to see you. Welcome back. Yay, I'm glad you're here. Yeah, so I arrived to work thinking that my central computer to where my patients are stationed, I just wasn't able to log on by remote. I thought that because I had installed some updates and anti-malware that, you know, it had restarted and wasn't letting me back in. But as it turns out, I arrive and there's this bright blue screen showing up on the monitor. And I was talking to one of my dental students who's a tech guy. He was like, oh, you got the blue screen of death. And I was like, yes, I had the blue screen of death, because essentially that's almost where my computer was on Wednesday. It was Tuesday. It was pretty much almost dead. Oh, thanks, Donna. I'm glad I look and sound great. Yeah, I had to try out a couple of different locations here before I could get a good internet signal. So what did that mean? It didn't mean that I could not practice my dentistry, but it did mean that I was really limited as to what I could do, because we become so reliant upon our technology, computers for sure, our software programs for sure. And you know, thankfully it wasn't absolutely necessary for me to take x-rays. Here we go. Yeah, this is fun. For me to take x-rays that day. And so I was able to get away without doing that. There was one patient who was really, really awesome, and this is part of the point that I want to share, is that even when things go wrong and they feel bad, like you think, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? When we can look at the positive aspects, it just helps us move through and move past that energy of feeling like things aren't okay and I should lose hope and woe is me and feeling kind of victimized, if you know what I mean, if I'm allowed to use that term. And so this is one patient that I want to focus on that helps me when I focus on what goes right. That's like what I talked about last week, is when you can focus on what goes right instead of what goes wrong, it helps move. I'm so sorry I'm not able, weak connection. I'm going to move around a little bit, guys. Sorry if that's annoying, but I guess I am. So she was really accommodating, and she was very willing. Yeah, this isn't going to work out too well. To come back in order for me to be able to have x-rays so that I could if there's anything else that I need treatment. Can you give me a thumbs up if I'm coming through okay? Please? And if I don't see a thumbs up, then I'm gonna think I'm not coming through. All right. I'm just gonna hope that this is gonna pass. Good, that signal went away. And so she was able to come back the next day. And while it was a little bit of an annoyance, I was a little bit worried because I thought, well, what if somebody else is in pain and they come in and I should really be taking an x-ray? Okay, so that was one positive thing that happened. Another thing that I want to talk about as far as how to have a positive perspective and how to move past what feels like things are going wrong is when you can take a moment to look for a solution. So you're experiencing something that doesn't feel great, you think is going wrong. It's good to recognize that, and it's fine to feel like things aren't going well. My connection is weak again, and I'm going to see if I can move around someplace else. Yes, you're getting a tour of some of my evening my errands here, because I thought that I would get some connection here outside of Safeway. And we'll see if I do too. There, that looks better. And so if we can look past the things that are going wrong and try and find a solution to what's going to help it be right. And if we can laugh at ourselves when we have silly ideas, like park yourself near shopping carts. Sorry for that noise. Then we can move through the situation and find light in the situation. And so in this case, I was able to think through, go, okay, I have some tech people who are nearby, I can contact them. I can take a photograph of what my blue screen of death looks like, and I can text it to my tech person, and I can put it in his hands and ask if he can help out, which he was able to do. And the other thing that was really great is that the tech person who was assigned to come over to my office was super duper kind. He's this really, really great guy, you know, just really supportive, calming. He knew what was he knew how to speak to me, you know. Have you ever had that situation where you can meet somebody who knows how to communicate with you in such a way that can help put your mind at ease? Well, that's what this computer tech guy was like. It was just what I needed. And so he came over to my office and explained to me what was going on. And, you know, he was just like, look, we just have to wait. We have to wait. I've done everything I can. I've determined it's not hardware, which is good. It's software. And that gave us hope. And he said, we just have to wait. And he showed me what was working, what wasn't working, but that it was something, there could be light at the end of the tunnel here. So I decided, fine, I can get through my morning patients, wait until lunchtime. And there at lunchtime, I was just feeling exhausted, you know, because you're trying to compensate for something that's for equipment that you don't have functional. And so I did. I'm going to take another walk around here and see if I can find a better connection, because it says my connection is weak again. And so what I did was I sat through and I let myself get a little bit emotional because I was tired, and lunchtime needs to be a time when we can recuperate and regenerate, and I was finding that it wasn't necessarily being that way for me. And so my tech guy came back because he had left the office. He wasn't just going to sit and watch the screen spin, and he explained to me, just let me know, but I have another office to visit. He came back and we thought through the process together. So I had an ally. I had somebody who could help me out, not only because it was his job, that's his career, that's his position to help people out in my situation. It wasn't just that. It was that, you know, he was putting his mind together with me to come up with a solution. And that was really, really key. That was really important. that we come up with a solution. And just the fact that he was thinking through with me, trying to think, well, how could he help me get through my day better? Then the idea occurred to me, hey, I can use my personal computer that's in my private office, and I can move that to my patient area, because wouldn't you know it, I planned in advance. When I set up the computer network, I planned for this event, that in the event that the operatory computer wasn't working, I could use this as a backup. Only I forgot about it, because I also didn't quite know how dire the situation was. I kept thinking, oh, just a few restarts and I'll be back in business. And so it was great, because then this is when we can find positive things in something that's negative. The great thing about this experience is that he taught me a few things that I didn't really know about how computer hardware worked. Like, I assumed that if you were going to unplug a monitor and unplug your wireless mouse and keyboard, I thought that the computer needed to be functional for that. You know how, like, when you have a data drive, like a USB drive, and it says there's something that you click so you can safely remove that hardware, otherwise you might lose data? I thought it was a similar situation, and so I was a little worried, like, oh, how am I going to logistically make this work with ease, to have an extra computer in the area, an extra monitor, an extra keyboard, extra mouse in the limited space that I have? How was I going to do that? And so this was a really nice thing that came through that, is that he taught me something new. And it was easy, as it turned out. It was really, really easy to make it work out. And so I bring this up because it's something that felt dire at first, but I didn't let myself slip down into the, dark chasm of, oh my God, computer deathland, While it was a little tempting to feel sorry for myself and to worry, I knew that I wouldn't get very far if I stayed in that mindset. And I needed to be there for my patients, which is what I love to do. I get as much from them as I hope that they get from me. And I feed off of that energy. I feed off of that interaction that I have with my patients. And so it was helpful for me that even though something stressful was happening, I could, take some deep breaths and just decide, I'm here doing what's important. I'm going to make it work out. My staff is here with me. We're going to make it work out. And we did. And even though I was exhausted at the end of the day, and just, once I came home, believe me, I fell apart, because that was just a lot of energy to expend to help keep things pulled together. Wow, it could have been a really horrible situation, and it wasn't. You know what happened? My computer fixed itself. That blue screen of death, it turns out, wasn't a blue screen of death, because I had an awesome support person who, and all the while he was texting with his support people. So he was working in the background and wasn't disrupting my ability to treat my patients. And he was good, and he got my computer back in action. And by the end of the day, it was working like normal. Can you believe it? So I believe that part of what helped all of that through was my own frequency. It was my own energy, and was my own willingness to allow for this pause to happen, this pause in technology. It was my, I think, my willingness to let something run its course. So, and to allow someone to come in and help me, to just open up the door to getting help, receiving help. And help came along, and everything ended up working out. And I have a lot of people to thank for that, and including just my own support network afterwards. My family, my friends, and groups that I belong to, my business groups were really awesome, and I'm taking this video lab with Tracy Phillips, and we had a class a couple of days later, and I was able to share with them this experience because we were talking about what I do on Friday, my Friday night videos. And just in kind of speaking through, I watched myself, because I didn't want to be dumping, you know what I mean? Like, you can talk with people when you want like a shoulder to lean on, when you want to have some support, but it's important to watch yourself that you don't like dump bad energy on them and complain a lot. I needed to kind of keep pulling myself in line so that I knew that I was sharing information with them about how part of my week went. and that had a point to it. You know, we were talking about themes for videos and so forth, and that was part of what led me to the subject for what I'm talking about today. So I just wanted to bring that up, that it's helpful to be mindful, and I make a practice of doing that, and I believe that perspective has helped me have a much easier week than I otherwise might have had. And I hope that's helpful for you to hear. I hope you've learned something that you can apply to your own everyday life and consider ways that you might be able to find a solution to something that feels wrong or stressful if you just take a breath and try and think, what can I do to make things better? What tools are available to me now that I can use to help me through this moment? And just in asking that question, the answer will show up for you. Just like it suddenly was obvious that there I was sitting in my little office feeling a little bit stressed, and lo and behold, right in front of me was a computer that I use every day, which turned out to serve as my spare computer while the other one was fixing itself. So I'd love it if you would leave more comments and let me know in what ways you can consider and give ideas to other people, ways that you can come up with that will help us all be able to relate with a more positive perspective and to be able to have a smoother ride through our life. I believe that we can help each other out, and I'm asking you to do the same thing here in the comments. You can share this video to those that you think are interested, and ask others to like my page here as well on Facebook, and you can also subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd love to see you again in the upcoming Friday night videos, and thanks again for being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Ciao!